put us into mandatory lockdowns, just like everybody else, and have basically been pushing us closer and closer to a cliff that we'll call bankruptcy. Even if you're not that close, if they keep locking you down, eventually you're going to be. Nobody does a business model not to make any money for months on end. So it puts a strain on your life, your livelihood, my employees' livelihood, health, mental health, all these things. So I'm involved with WeAreAllEssential, and we decided to do an opening date of February 11th, which was great because we believe that they got wind of it. So they were doing a lot of the lifts on the 16th. So a lot of people kind of backed up from opening. But I decided I was going to stand my ground. I've been open since about January 4th. I did a small renovation, then I reopened, and I was kind of working underground. So on the 11th, I put my sign on, and they came 10 minutes after I opened. So, and that was the first trespass with the health official. Actually, that was the second time, but the first one with the health official on February 4th. I had bylaw come around because they discovered that I was working, right. And they saw people coming out of the building. And of course, I'm going to be working because I need to feed myself.
Right.
So they came and we had our interaction. I've been learning common law, so I started to really get to know it a bit better and familiar through WeAreAllEssential. There's a gentleman there, his name's Dennis, and he's been very great with guiding in that. I've also came in contact with your site, and I started to research that. So I started to put some things together between some of the stuff that I was being told, some of the stuff I was reading on your site, started to formulate my paperwork, that kind of thing, and got myself as ready as I could be, knowing that it wasn't going to be the funnest situation to be in,
of course,
going through these confrontations, but something has to be done.
Yep.
It's unfair that the government decides that they're going to bully you, and it's no different than if you had a gang show up and tell you either have to close or keep open, and you have to pay us money if you don't. So it's no different. Extortion is extortion.
Yeah.
So I decided I was going to stand, and that's what I did. So I had 3 confrontations with them, 2 on the 11th and 1 on the 12th. At that point, I backed up a little bit. I didn't sit down. That's when I got into contact with you shortly after, and then decided that I was going to better my, attack or backup, gather more information, and that's when you started working with me, as I said. So it's almost like reloading my guns.
Yeah.
I took those hits. I made videos of them because the other fella in WeAreAllEssential, I told him a lot of people in there, I didn't believe they were fully understanding it at that point, and I told him through one of our phone conversations, I'm going to videotape it. I think if I videotape it and I show people, it will help them stand up where they probably wouldn't because they don't know what to do.
Right. Well, what I could actually do right now, Jamie, is I've got a little slide presentation. So I'll just put this on here and you can talk over it. It's just, I'll start it here and we'll both jump up to the window here. So here you can see these are, I'll put us down on or Paul can put us down on the bottom. Paul, thank you, Paul. So this is the front doors, right? This is what you were doing prior to any type of a trespass. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's the front and the back door. So both the entrance and exit, right. I put them on top. Yes.
Right. So as you can see, you've got the no trespassing, and then I believe you've got something similar to my writings, the bottom two. You've got the WeAreAllEssential there, and then you've got my notice liability, and then you've got something similar to it, looks like to the right of it there. Yeah, so correct. That's basically putting whoever shows up at that door, they're on notice that if they trespass, obviously, that they're ultimately contracting with you. And this is what we can see what happened recently. Can you talk a little bit about this now?
Okay, so on February the 12th, the health board, well, on the 11th, they gave me, I had to close and they gave me an order. And then they came back on the 12th because I didn't close. They asked me, are you still open? I said, my open sign's on. And they immediately told me that I had to close and I had to put these signs on the door. I could not remove them. I couldn't damage them. I couldn't cover them. So I actually put signs beside them that I can't remember what it says. Something about these signs are not authorized.
Right.
So I put one above the front door and one beside the back door and put arrows to it just to tell people I did not authorize these to be put up. So I left them there, and as I said, I did close because I was gathering the information that I need to do the next proceedings. I figured if I stayed open the next day and I got a summons, which I already got, and then I got another summons, I didn't see it working for me in a benefit. Right. I felt that if I kind of just stepped back a little bit and then started to learn things, that I would be able to have a more successful approach to it. So,
wonderful. And these are some of obviously the wonderful gifts that you were given. We should also first drill down, because we've got the video that we're going to run after this. We'll talk about these documents here, and then we'll run some of the videos you were so gracious to provide with me. But again, who are these people that are interacting with you? Just to hammer home to everybody, who are these people? Where do they work for?
Okay, so I've had bylaw, the police, city police. I've had the tactical unit, a couple of those guys, and the health board. And I think that's pretty much it. But the health board has been mostly the dominant one. They just need the police there to act as, I guess, peace officers. In the videos, you can tell the police didn't want to be there. Yeah. They're kind of shuffling their feet. They're looking down. They were just trying to get it over with. And almost every time as I started talking, they would leave as quickly as they could. Yeah.
Well, I notice on this ticket, if everyone looks to the far left there, if you go about halfway down, it says, contrary to what? This is always what they're coming after you for. And it says the Reopening Ontario Act, or whatever it is, the flexible, I don't know what they're talking about there. But at the end of the day, this Reopening Act, as I'm sharing, and Jamie and I are working through this, is Jamie understands now that Ontario is simply a service corporation. And in order for anyone in that service corporation to have jurisdiction when they're acting in those roles for that service corporation, there must be a contract, in which Jamie has signed with the service corporation, allowing them to administrate over his property without right. So the first question I ask you, Jamie, is do you have a contract with the Service Corporation Ontario, the Service Corporation Barrie, which is a municipality, or the Service Corporation, which is the police department that's in your area? Is it the Barrie Police?
Barrie Police Service, correct.
Right. So do you have a contract with any of those three service corporations?
I do not.
That's right. So the only way that when we talk first and foremost, we'll start first always, as I say to people, like you're going to see in the video here, when the police show up, the first question, they're obviously in the hierarchy. The police hold all the power there. The bylaw officer, he can yammer and yammer all he wants. He doesn't have a gun. He's not going to be able to arrest you, but these people wearing the guns, they have the jurisdiction. If they're going to come after you, they've got the tools, so to speak, to do that. So the first question that we ask them, and again, we know the four questions, is always, you guys got a verified claim against Jamie here that he's trespassed against another man or woman causing wrong or harm. Full stop. That's the first thing that you say to them. And they're going to say, no, we don't have a verified claim. Then you're going to say, well, then I require you to produce the obligation, that means contract, upon which you rely to have jurisdiction over I. Okay, so if there's not a verified claim to the police that you've caused wrong or harm, trespass against a man or woman, a verified claim, not a complaint. Who gives a rat's arse about complaints, right? You're not causing wrong and harm. This is what the legal world's all based on, right? This lower, correct, complaint world, which is just ridiculous, because a claim always trumps a complaint. Remember that, people. Okay, so these people are coming to you and they're saying, well, you're not allowed to open, and they're basing it on this Ontario Service, whatever, Reopening Act. Again, these are people at this service corporation that are writing these words and putting them out into the public, and they have no force or effect unless they're going to come forward and claim that Jamie is what? Property, or that they can administrate property without right. And that's if they don't have those first two questions we talked about there, a yes to all of them. And that's how simple this is, Jamie. That's what I'm going to do with all my heart, to drill down to your heart, your mind, and soul, so that you know anytime you talk to these people, they've got to answer yes to one of those questions, because anything outside of it is irrelevant. Right? They can come and tell you that the sky is falling, there's a meteor coming, and you've got to close your business. Well, thank you very much, but a free man has that decision, that choice to do. And providing that he's not causing wrong or harm to another man or woman by keeping his business open, then they have no business to trespass upon you. So what I'd like to do here, let's now the second one here, we'll just jump to the middle document here. I see it says order of the medical officer of health.
Yeah, the two are the same document. I just took a photo of the top and the bottom so that the whole thing was posted.
Gotcha. So let me ask you something, Jamie. well, I like to spin it up a lot. If someone comes into your tattoo store, your property, your business, and they say, Jamie, I'd like to order you to put a tattoo on me, right? Well, you don't have a problem doing that, do you?
No, I do not.
That's right. And what happens, Jamie, after you complete that order for them? What does that man or woman get?
They get a bill.
Bingo. So this is the other side of it that I want everybody that's hearing these words that are right now being expressed. This is what every business will do. On top of putting these notices up, on top of, as Jamie's doing, we're going to put these people on notice and move claim in court against them if they don't correct their wrong and harm that they're causing right now through their ignorance. Is that this is very, very lawful. Nobody can compel this man Jamie to perform without him being fairly and duly and justly compensated. So if there's no contract that's already in place, for example, if I came into Jamie's store, we would contract. I'd say, I'd like to get a tattoo. And you're going to say, okay, I'll do it for you. Well, then the next question is, all right, we both know what's the cost of this going to be. And then that gets negotiated, whatever that's going to be. So these people here, if they willfully trespass on your property, as I always like to use, and like I say, the evil right now, because it's pushed itself so far out there, I don't know if you're familiar, you probably watch Rebel News, but I mentioned it the other night that the Radisson Hotel, I believe it is, the Madison, whatever's in Toronto, where they're housing some of these COVID people, Rebel News was trying to report on them and get in there. So what they've done is they've put up what? No trespassing, right? See, the trespass sign is very powerful, whether it's a construction site. When that trespass sign is up, if anybody breaches that trespass, they are entering into a contract with you now. This is what you have to understand. And that's why we're going to start to teach people in the next few weeks here. We're going to get people to have a fee schedule that they're going to carry around with them in their pocket or whatever. That if you interact with these people that are acting in law enforcement, you wish to take all their orders. Don't be scared if they're going to threaten to put the handcuffs on you. You say, is that an order? I'm more than happy to be compelled to perform, for that amount. And usually put the dollar figure to them, put it on the record in front, and give it to them in writing in a little card or something and say, my fee is $1 a second, right? That adds up, people. That's $86,400 a day. Okay, if they try and lock you up or whatever. And believe me, they do not wish to contract with you. This is what ultimately the police are starting to see, that, you know what? There is no verified claim this man's caused wrong or harm to another man or woman. Why are we shutting these people's businesses down? Because as people might have saw from my interview last night, we're not seeing all these fire trucks going around, all these ambulances. Like, how many people do you know, Jamie, that have died from this so-called pandemic?
I don't know anybody. I do know of people that say they know of people, but when you have inaccurate tests and no autopsies, and the virus hasn't even been fully separated in a lab, what are you testing for?
Exactly. So maybe what we could do now, Paul, I'd just like to show everybody, I'll take this back, but if you can, Paul, let's run I'll stop the slide presentation. And if you could run the first video, we've got 3 short videos of you here, and we're going to show everybody the interactions that went on, and then we'll talk about them. And this was the first one, February 4th, I believe.
This was with just bylaw, if it's the very first one.
Right.
So there was four short videos in total.
You're going to get to read these signs first. Okay. So you're going to just read those. Go ahead. Oh, wait.
I'll take pictures of those, and I will come back after you. Okay.
That's fine.
Perfect.
Now that one was pretty quick and easy. Just got her to read the signs, and she took pictures and said, I might have to reattend with the police.
Right.
So, sure.
That's terrific. Fine. Now, see, I want everyone to understand. You see how Jamie carried himself there? Totally honorable. Like, there's no threat that's going on here. They're actually the ones that are incurring this thing, but that woman seemed like she was very nice. And as I say to everybody, our enemy is ignorance, as I believe you also know, Jamie, is that we've not all been given the truth. It doesn't matter at what level you are consciously, we are missing these foundational truths, what is actually going on here from a trespass perspective to the rights that a man or a woman have, because we've never really been taught our rights. Everyone looks to the Canadian Charter and Freedom of Rights, and they don't realize that piece of paper, it's got nothing to do with the rights of a man or woman. It's all part of this theater that the Bar Society uses in order to do these challenges and obviously take a lot of money from you. So this woman seemed very cordial, and it was very short. So let's play the next one, Paul. And this one was on which date, Jamie?
I believe this one would be the 11th, and about 10 after 12, this would be the first visit with the health board.
Not too bad. How are you? Good. My name's Tony. I'm with the Muskoka District Council. Okay. Did you guys read my sign?
They were on the outside.
They were on the outside of the door.
On the inside.
And they're on the inside. Have you read them?
Okay, so then why are you still here?
I'm just wondering if you're open today, or
Yes, we're open.
Look at the deer in the headlight look.
under the Reopening Ontario Act, you should be closed today.
I am a man, and I'm under common law. You have no jurisdiction over me. So if I have not broken any law, and you can prove that I have caused harm to another man or a woman or property, and you can present them to me, I have not broken any law. So you have no jurisdiction over me.
I'm asking you to close your business. Okay. So I'm verbally asking you, ordering,
Yeah.
with the Health Protection and Promotion Act, that you close, because as of right now,
Those are not laws. Those are not laws. Those are mandates, which are guidelines. No, thank you. Unless I've broken a law, I don't need your guys' service here today. So have a good day.
Okay, so you're saying that you're not going to close. Okay.
Are you conducting some tattooing today?
Unless I've broken a law, I don't need your guys' service. So.
Oh, that's great. So what I would say there, we can just jump on this really quickly, is that the first thing that, and I realize you're doing a great job, Jamie, you've been just dropped into this, like everybody else, you're swimming with a bunch of sharks and you're trying to find the truth as quickly and simply as you can. And I absolutely love your demeanor with these guys. But what you've got to do is when you take control there, remember, they are on your property. So the first thing that you would hit that guy with, you would look to Bob and Susie there, or the two Bobs, or the three Bobs that are acting as police officers, and you say to them, you got a verified claim I've trespassed, causing wrong or harm against a man or woman? I require. You never use the word ask, you use the word require. Require means demand. I require you to produce it right now. Where is it? And you don't get off that square. You make them answer that question first. Do you, yes or no, have a verified claim I've caused wrong or harm? Trespass against another man or woman? They're going to say no. Say thank you. And you work for, and then you call them by the name of the service corporation they work for, which is the Barrie Police or whatever. Then you say, then I require you to produce the obligation. And you say to them, that means contract upon which you rely that I, a man, have entered into with the people at your service corporation, because you don't have a verified claim of wrong and harm. So you obviously are here because we've got a contract. Produce the contract. And you stand on that square, and then the bylaw officer, you turn to him and you can hit him with the same two things. Or the first and foremost thing is say, who are you? Okay, because you're trespassing on my property right now. I don't know who you are. I believe you work for, can you confirm, the service corporation called Barrie, the municipality? And they're going to say, yes, I do. Great. Produce the obligation. You hit them again like you just hit Bob and Susie from the other service corporation. Produce the obligation you rely upon being here. Am I in breach of a contract with you? And he says, no. Well, we're asking you. I said, well, you don't ask another man. I'm not your property, right? Unless you all believe here you've got evidence that you can administrate property without right. Can anybody do that? Right? Get it on film and say, okay, then, well, who here claims that I'm property? Nobody. That's on the record. So if I'm not your property and you can't administrate property without right, for the people, the honorable men and women, men here before me that are acting as police officers, well, then you have to produce the verified claim I've trespassed, or you better have an obligation I have with your service corporation. Otherwise, you got no business coming here talking to me. And as for you that are acting on behalf of this other service corporation, you've got to produce the obligation. Okay, because I'm not bound to this. And you're pointing, as soon as they say the Ontario Reopening Act, you hit them right with, who is Ontario? Because these are the three words that I drill down with everybody. You always hear me say, trespass, property, and who. So you say, well, who? Who are you here on behalf of? And if they're saying, well, there's the order from Ontario for the Reopening Act or whatever, say, wait a minute, who? Are you said the Ontario government? And they're going to answer you, well, yes. It's like a fishing game, right? You got to reel them in. And you put a big hook, a big worm on the end of it, a big, fat, juicy worm that they just cannot resist. So you make it simple for them. That's what the common law is. You keep it real simple, and you just simply say to them, well, then I require you to produce the obligation that I have with your service corporation, because on this service corporation, Ontario. See, now you're talking about a third service corporation, and now you've drilled down first individually on them, and all they got left now in their ammo, so to speak, to throw at you is, well, this is against all the violations. You're violating the Reopening Ontario Act, and then you drill down on, well, I don't know who anyone is at Ontario, but I do not have a contract with that service corporation, and I require you to produce it right now. And if they say it's, you know, the health minister or whatever, well, who is this woman? Does she have a contract with me? Produce it. And then you say, listen, guys, contract makes the law between us. All right, between a man and a woman, contract makes the law. I don't have a contract with this service corporation, Ontario, that is supposed to be serving me, not sending its agents and officers here to trespass against me. So unless you got a verified claim or a contract in front of you guys, I wish you a nice day, right? And that's how you handle it like a champ. So let's play the next one for you here, Jamie. Paul, please, thank you. And what day was on this on, Jamie?
It's the same day at around 4 o'clock. And by the way, Jamie, if you just want to unmute your microphone.
Hello, remember I was here earlier?
Yep.
I gave you the verbal order and you said you didn't want to close?
Yep.
So I've returned with an official.
Before you go ahead, what was your name?
My name's, so it's all on here, and you'll be getting a copy
Okay,
of this.
so your name is Tony.
Sorry, your microphone, if you want to mute it just because it's echoing.
Would you like a business card? Make it easier?
Go ahead, spell it.
Okay, MAK, ROS as in Sam, TERGIOS. Okay.
Okay, so this is a notice of.
Sorry, guys, that was me that paused it. I just want to jump in here because, you know, you look at these men that are supposed to be putting their lives on the line every day. They're actually supposed to be going out there and taking down the real corruption, right? The real wrong and harm, the people that are doing to other people in this world right now. And here are these resources. All these guys are making probably $90 or $100 an hour close to. I don't know what they get now. This is what I'm saying. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that they're wearing masks, it just shows you, right, how far the consciousness of mankind has actually gone. These guys are all old enough to recognize that they never grew up wearing masks over their face. And yet, why aren't these people, you know, questioning their higher command of what is actually going on here? So like I said, we'll just let this go. It's great that you're getting the names of them here, and I see that it's great I paused it right here because you actually did on you created these own other little documents. It's sort of something like what I did, but you actually had the names, and I really like what you've done there. So I'll just let this finish out, Jamie, and then I'll let you continue on.
Of liability.
Okay, listen, I'm going to do this
I,
first.
man, Jamie of the Russo family, do hereby give you notice of liability. Tony, how do you say your last
Okay, you know what? That's fine. I'm
name?
gonna
Produce written variable evidence
Okay,
with
so-
wet signature.
I'm here
Signed
to
immediately
sign
that
to
Jeff
give you the
Lehman,
Section 13 order.
a man acting under
This order,
as mayor,
Mr. Russo,
or a
asks
man
you to
under
immediately
his
close
or
the
her
premise,
control, I claim
immediately
I property.
post these close signs.
Jeff
Okay,
Lehman,
and to comply
or
with all
any man or
provincial
woman under
orders
his
and
control,
regulations.
administer property without
The
right.
reasons of the order are here. Your notice to
Obligation
an appeal is
contract
here.
exists with Service Corporation Barrie, relinquished by rights, produce the variable claim from the man, trespass cause wrong, man or woman, I trespass cause wrong or harm, otherwise do not trespass, trespass fine is set
Okay,
at $100,000 per man or woman involved, fines increased to $200,000 after first trespass.
Sure.
I will swear under oath or affirmation that all here is said and true.
Okay, that's fine. You can leave that
11,
there.
20,
So,
21.
Mr. Russo, here's a copy
You have
of
been
your order.
served.
Okay. Here's a copy
Thank
of your
you.
order.
That's great that he said that's fine because he accepted
Okay, you
that.
don't have to
Yeah.
actually
contract.
take it because it does have your name and that
Okay.
it's been served upon you. So this is your official order to close. Okay.
Yeah.
So you also have to post these closed red signs on each of your entrance of your business.
Okay, I refuse contract and consent, but you can do what you like with those.
Okay, so these signs.
I just paused it for a second there. See, that would have been a great opportunity right there for other people when they're trying to force this on you. Is this guy giving you an order, Jamie?
I
You understand?
Yeah, he was trying to give me an
I
order.
understand, I comprehend.
That's right. So,
Then that these have to go on your door and they cannot come down.
is it still playing?
No, everybody's seeing what you're seeing, Chris. It's just on our end. It doesn't pause for us.
Okay, can you mute it, Paul, at your end? Because it's bleeding in here.
I can't because he would have to just mute his microphone, Jamie, if you can.
Okay, I'll let it play out then to the end. There's only 1:44 left, but this is when you hit them with the order, right? You say, is that an order? Oh, yes, I'm more than happy to accept my order. Boom, then you give them your fee, right? That's when you hit them with, oh, well, it's $1 a second, and thank you very much for making my day. You're ordering me to shut down my business? I'd be yelling back to staff, hey, everybody, it's dinner's on me tonight, right? We're going out. We're going to have a hell of a party on the town because these people wish to contract with me, and you show them, there's my fee to close my business, $1 a second, Bob or Susie. So you take that back to your top legal department there and tell them, thank you very much. Christmas came early this year. See, that's how you can handle it, right? Because now you've got verifiable evidence. The guy just said, what did he say on camera? Sure. Isn't that funny? He agreed to it, right? He said, sure, that's your door to open up, say, beautiful. You giving me an order? Well, here's your invoice. It's $1 a second, and I'm going to require a deposit pretty soon because this is going to be at $86,400 by 12 hours from now. So, we better get to this, so to speak, by the end of the day. So that's what I mean. I understand this was all new to you. You did an incredible job here when you're speaking to these people, but I wanted to interject here so that people understand that that's when you use those words. And the words, I know you were nervous, it's verifiable. Okay, I require your written verifiable evidence with wet signature. Verifiable means that they've got to produce it in the physical sense, or at least point you to where this evidence, like a contract, exists, or a man from these service corporations is coming forward that's told them, oh yeah, Jamie down there, yeah, that tattoo guy, he's a pain in the ass or whatever, he never wants to listen to me, but just so you know, guys, before you go out there and you have your lunch afterwards and I'll have a few chuckles, Jamie's my property, okay, so you don't need a contract, all right? See, that's not going to exist, and that's when the shit all falls apart, because if all of a sudden those three guys were Ronald McDonald, Burger King, and the Hamburglar, which they really actually represent, that's how ridiculous all of this is, right? They're all there under what they're being told in a job description, and there is no level and foundation of law that exists within these people, and it's very disturbing. Another one you can hit the police with is say, listen guys, I stand behind you guys 100%. I respect everything that you're doing. You put your lives on the line for us every day. See, I always kill them with kindness, and then I hit them right between the eyes. I require you to tell me the difference between legal and lawful, and they don't know it. And that's when you hit them with it. And you get all this on camera, because what you're going to start to do, as I do, is you embarrass these people. You're exposing that they are completely ignorant. What they should not be, specifically those that are creating law enforcement, they should damn well know what the difference between legal and lawful is. Do you know what the difference between legal and lawful is, Jamie?
Legal is on a fiction.
Legal applies to that which is incorporated. See, it's real simple. You don't have to get into this fiction thing, because then you're taking it down a realm. It convolutes it. Remember, people understand when something's incorporated, right? They realize that's just a fiction. And then lawful is that which is unincorporated. A man, a woman, or people. Remember, a fiction, which you talk about when they say that which is incorporated, well, our names were incorporated when we were born. Isn't that correct, Jamie, with the birth certificates? That's what the legal world realm evolves around. So this is when the light bulb really goes on. They're going, holy crow. That's how simple all of this is, because what they have jurisdiction over is that little piece of paper, that plastic, that birth certificate that was created when Jamie came into this world, that his mother and father signed at a hospital, that they got a few weeks later in the mail. That's what those men actually have jurisdiction over, a piece of paper. And if this man, Jamie, hasn't consented to it, because he's already asked him, produce the contract upon which you rely, right? The obligation to jurisdiction, which means control. They don't have it. So that means there must be a verified claim. They don't have that. Then the only other thing that can exist is that those three guys there, one of them must claim that your property, or somebody back at the office does, or that they can all administrate property without right. I never leave that square. This is why you don't have to bring up the COVID-19 crap. You don't even have to get into the whole thing about the Reopening Act, right? Or whatever acts, codes, or statutes that they're quoting. You simply drill down on, excuse me, Bob and Susie, do you not work for this municipality, this service corporation? Well, I don't have a contract with you, and you better bring forward the man or woman that wrote that, because otherwise you have no standing here and you're actually trespassing. And I don't wish to have any conflict with my fellow man. I wish to live in peace, and I'm willing to forgive you for this trespass here today. Kind regards, and shut the door. You got shutting the door down pretty good, but anyways, I just wanted to jump in there for that. Paul, we got one. You want to say something, Jamie?
I was going to say, I'm going to be writing cue cards with the four things on it so that I have it in front of me so that next time I'm better prepared. Because I'm learning this, right? So I was off the cuff where I want to be more prepared next time. So that's what I'm doing for that.
Beautiful.
Simple.
Beautiful. And like I say, it's very simple for everybody. When there's police there and bylaw officers, or if it's just police there, it doesn't matter. Remember, the police are the hierarchy within their little world. So the first question, even though I've got them in 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one is always, produce the verified claim of trespass. That's the first thing that you say to the police officers, okay? You say, you guys, you got a verified claim that I've trespassed against a man or woman. I require you produce it right now. You got a verified claim of trespass? And they're going to be quiet like they were there. And when they don't answer, say, let the record show that there's not a verified claim of trespass before it. So, guys, that means that you must be here because I've breached a contract, an obligation. See how simple it is? You go right to the contract. Even though in the order that I've got it in, I was trying to show people, 1 and 2 is basically on my property. Well, that goes back to when we're born and free. But in the instance when you're right there, you want to maximize it. So just flip it. Use the fourth one first, use the third one second, and then use the, down to the row so you get to the final last one. Well, somebody here must claim that I'm property, right? Because that's the only way you guys have jurisdiction. And you educate them. You say, jurisdiction means control, guys. Okay, because I'm not looking to have any conflict with you here today, but you're appearing on my property without right because you don't have a claim and you don't have a contract. See how quick that was? And that's what you'll hit them with, brother. So you can go back and play this over and over again, and you just get that verbiage down. And once you get it, you realize, oh, there's police here. You got a verified claim? Nope. Well, you got a contract with me and your service corporation? Nope. Well, you got no jurisdiction here. And as for you guys, where's the obligation you're relying upon? Hit them with the same 2 questions. And when they both say no quickly, that's what I mean. You can take them down their pants, so to speak, in 30 seconds. And then you say, well, guys, obviously somebody here believes that I'm property, or you guys can administrate property without right. Which is it? And they're going to answer no to all of that. Say, well, you got to answer yes, boys, to one of those 4 questions. All right. Otherwise, you're trespassing. Have a nice day and shut the door on them. Right?
Yep.
That's how you'll do it, brother. So let's play the final one, Paul. I think we got one more video here, and I'll learn to shut up.
Hang on a sec. Ready?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Notice that you're still open.
Oh, don't decide, huh?
Yeah. So, which is failure to comply with an order. So just a reminder that is a $25,000 per day fine.
You're trespassing again.
Okay. So here's
I'm
your
the
summons to appear in court.
I'm the living, breathing
That's
man.
for you.
I'm the living, breathing man.
And because
And you
court
don't have
right now
jurisdiction
is virtual, I don't work for Barry, so that doesn't apply. There you go.
You can take it in.
Okay, thanks. I'll add it to the rest of them.
Can I get your guys' badge numbers? Names?
072 7476.
Okay, so it says your signs. You said you're still open, right? Open sign is on. Is that what you said? Open.
772. What's your name?
772 Sergeant Fitzgerald.
And how do you spell Fitzgerald?
FITZGERALD.
Just so you know, that is a summons to appear in court.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And who are you, sir?
My name is Jeff.
Okay, Jeff.
And actually, this is a question for everybody here. If the government was forcing you into bankruptcy, would you fight back or would you lay down and take it?
That's not a question that is relevant.
Why is it not relevant?
For you.
Okay, so what you're saying is you're fighting back, so you know you're supposed to be closed. Is that my interpretation of the question?
We are fighting a bankruptcy. The government is attempting to force us into bankruptcy. Would you fight back, or
All
would
the
you?
information with respect to what your rights are court-wise and stuff are all in that document there that was provided by this gentleman.
Okay, and
Do you
I mean
have any
it's
questions with respect to the
And
information I served
What was
today?
your name, sir?
Leach. Constable Leach. Badge number 7476.
Is that Jeff, Jeff, or?
Yep.
Sorry,
Last
badge
name,
number?
Jeff?
No last name.
You don't have a last name?
Nope.
Okay. So do you work here?
Can you, some of those? Okay, so this is a notice of liability.
Okay. All right, I think we're done.
I am a man, Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie.
Okay, so God bless Jeff trying to step in there and help and carry the conversation. And again, okay, we have to understand the simplicity of what's going on here. And I mean, no disrespect to Jeff or whatever, but he took the conversation into an area that had no purpose being there. This has nothing to do with whether you're going bankruptcy. It's about people in front of you that are trying to administrate property without right. You do not leave that square. You stand on that square. Okay, and when he says, I don't work for Barry, then you should have, obviously we know who he works for, but you try and get, on record, well, who do you work for? You do work for a service corporation, do you not? Right? Whether it works for a service, everything's a service corporation in this world, right? That's been incorporated. Pretty much, they're providing some form of services for you. So that's where you stand on that square. You don't get into this thing where you're fighting back. See how the conversation got all convoluted? You got off your square. And the second that you get off that square and you don't nail them on there's no contract, there's no verified claim, and you better claim that I'm either property or you can administrate property without right, or you got no business being here. That's what a man or a woman does. They stand on that square. And that's why I'm so glad that we've had this interaction here tonight, Jamie, because it's allowed people to see, because this is very intimidating when you've got these people with guns. See, this is the part that bothers me so much about everything, is that these people that are supposedly, they put their lives on the line every day, but now they've been put in a horrific position. And they're in this position because, like all of us, this ignorance is permeating. It's been existing for a long time. And now they're trying to get, around it using these horrific tactics, $25,000, right? And that's why your order is even more powerful, because what do you care about if they're going to try and fine you $25,000? They don't have a contract to prove it. However, you've got a contract because they gave you what, Jamie?
An order.
Damn straight, Skippy. There you go, brother. See how simple it is? And that's when you can start to have fun with this. So this is what I also want to say. I didn't hear this part of the video before where he's saying it's all virtual now. If you wish, I would love to join you on that virtual call and be there as your counselor at law. Remember, I cannot represent, like the lawyers do, represent another man or woman. I'm not there for that. I'm there to provide assistance to my fellow man or woman to ensure that the law is properly being executed in that court. And the only thing that we're going to drill down on is jurisdiction. First and foremost, this court that's moving forward is in the wrong jurisdiction. It's a legal proceeding. Admiralty maritime law. There's no verified claim, right? That's what we're going to hit them with. There's no verified claim that you've caused wrong or harm. There's no contract in which you've breached. Who is moving this court? Well, they're going to probably say it's Queen Elizabeth or Her Majesty in her right or whatever. Really? Did you do a tattoo for Queenie baby over there in England, Jamie, we're not aware of?
I did not know.
Yeah. So see, that's the only reason that she could be moving a claim in court against you. If unbeknownst to her, when you were doing the, maybe the icon or a name or something, you did something nefarious and whatever, something that was just damaged with her skin or something. Well, yeah, she's got a claim then to move against you. But again, this is the theater. You have to understand what's going on. Why does her name, Jamie, appear on all these court cases, these legal proceedings? Do you know why?
She owns the corporation?
Yes, she owns the corporations that she created.
Yes.
So she owns the corporation that's Jamie, your full name, Russo, whatever it is, middle and last, whatever. She created this service corporation, this corporation in your name, and all of these people that are in front of you don't understand the difference between you're not acting under that, wonderful benefit. Remember, it'd be like McDonald's creating that documentation. They give it to you. And that's when you read all of the documentation that comes out of government, you're always going to see the word person. You're never going to see the word man or woman. And you're always going to see that this has been created for you for a benefit and a privilege. Well, if something is a benefit or a privilege to you, that means somebody has jurisdiction control over you to be able to grant you that, like your rights. Did you catch that when the guy said, and here's the document with all your rights on it for court? Did you hear him say that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a piece of paper, and that's when you figure, what? Rights? Excuse me, Bob, you don't seem to understand something. Words on a piece of paper do not give a man or woman their rights. We're born with unalienable rights in this world. Who wrote that document? See, then you drill right down on that document, and you never have to leave that square, Jamie, and everybody else there that's listening to this, especially people in business. Property, trespass, and who? Master the conversation. Always look, every time they say something, look for those keywords, but don't let them to go off topic, or go into these, you're forcing me into bankruptcy, right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, you did a great job there, Jamie. You really did, and the people are. I'm incredibly grateful to see more and more people like you that are stepping up. And if you got to see Sean that came on just before you, he is going to be a huge asset for all of us, especially for you, because he's the type of man that will bring what's going on right now in these court systems into the light. And actually, I'm going to write about it in my article that I put up here now, because we're dealing in the real time, because people need to see this truth of what you're doing. You've caused no wrong or harm, and all they got is bring out this fictitious $25,000 fine. Well, like I said, when people understand the full spectrum, which hopefully we're starting to give them now, it's really simple. And I hope that every day you get stronger and stronger, my friend. And I just want to put this on the public record. I'm going to stand shoulder to shoulder with you. I'm not going to turn away from you on this. It's not about money to me. As you know, I don't charge any money for anything that I do, because it's this simple. It's simply having this conversation, especially these honorable people that are out there every day putting in horrific positions. They've got to understand these simple laws, right, that exist between man. And God bless you for what you're doing. So whereabouts you located, in case people want to run out now and get a bunch of tattoos for you, that we can help you really get your business really rocking out there?
I'm in Barrie, Ontario, on the corner of Essa and Mapleview Drive, in an old church.
Oh, that's
fun.
That's wonderful. Well, Jamie, I just want to thank you for coming on here this evening. It's been truly a pleasure for me to meet you here. Thank you for being a courageous man and standing your ground. I'm really, really, really proud of how calm you were and how well you carried yourself, because I believe you know in your heart, as I do, these people are not our enemy. The enemy is this ridiculous ignorance that is existing, and the only way we're going to get past it is we've got to bring this truth out into the light. And you're doing that, my friend, and I love you with all my heart.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Chris.
You're welcome, my friend. Have a great night, and we're definitely going to do a follow-up with this, because everybody should know I didn't bring it up here just yet because it's not quite finalized, but I'll probably bring you back, I'm thinking Wednesday next week, possibly, if you're available, and we can go over the paperwork that we're going to be sending to them the top of next week. Okay, so that everybody can understand how we respond to this, how we're encapsulating and incorporating all of them within two single communications, and this goes right up to who?
Doug Ford.
That's right. The man, Doug Ford, who is simply a man that's acting as like the CEO. He's got a title called Premier of a service corporation, right? So you put the 4 questions to him, right? Does he have a contract with you, an obligation? Nope. You already know you don't have him with the service corporation he works for. We're talking, this is what the common law is. You're drilling down onto that man or woman now. Then you're going to say to him, well, Doug, obviously the responsibility that you have, because all government was created to protect the what? The property of man. There's that word again. So your duty, Doug, when you're acting in this role for the Service Corporation Ontario, is to protect the property of man. So do you got a verified claim that I've caused wrong or harm to another man or woman? Nope. Bob or Doug, then do you claim that I'm your property? He's going to say, no, definitely not. Well, then who, including Doug or any man or woman within your organization, can administrate property without right? He's got to answer no to that as well. And you're done. That's what shows everybody the true power of the law, okay? The law, not a legal world, the law between man. So like I said, play this back, watch this over and over, everybody else out there as well, and you see how I continually circle around that property trespass, produce the obligation, produce the verified claim of wrong or harm, right? Or you guys either claim I'm property or you can administrate it without right. And you got to answer yes. That's what you hammer with. See these 4 questions? You can read them to them and say, you got to answer yes to one of them, guys. Actually be like a school teacher in front of them, right? Don't be intimidated. Say, if you answer yes to one of these, and believe me, I'm an honorable man. I am going to honor any debts through a contract that I owe. If God forbid, if I cause wrong or harm to a man or woman, I'm unaware of this. Please bring this man or woman forward to me, right? So that I can make them whole again, so I can settle this on the private side. And I'll just leave it at this with everybody, is that what Jamie and I are going to do now, as we do with everybody, is we're trying to settle this on the private side, aren't we, Jamie?
We sure are.
That's right, because a summons, I don't know if you know this, a summons is an invite. You got to look at it, so you're being invited to their court. Well, even though that court has no jurisdiction, that's fine. Say, okay, I'm an honorable man. You want to invite me to have a discussion about this at your court. Is everybody in that court, Jamie, are they being paid while they're there?
Yeah.
That's right. So we're going to send in, when we send this communication in, that your fee is going to be $1 a second to appear. Right? Because they wished you to contract, right? I have no problem following your order. See now how you throw down that word in front of them? You've placed an order with me. You've got it on video. This guy's giving you an order. He says, I'm giving you an order. Just imagine if he gave you the order. He said, I'm giving you an order to bring me 10 Big Macs. Well, even though you don't have them there, and then you ran out really quickly and you came back and you whipped them up and you made them and then you gave him the 10 burgers. Well, he just can't take those 10 burgers and walk away. He owes you a debt. because
Yeah.
you were compelled, you carried out an order for him, and you didn't wish conflict. You're saying, okay, yeah, I can make you some burgers. Take me a little bit of time. I'm just using that as a scenario, right? But everybody can simply understand that yeah, that's right. No man or woman can be ordered or compelled to perform without being fairly and duly compensated. Remember that. And you throw that at them. So that's why you want to accept the orders. And this applies to if they want to put handcuffs on you on the side of the road, if they want to take you out of your property, your car, do not cause any conflict, because we don't want anyone to, especially the officers, to be hit by another car going by. That's what I mean. Traffic is a whole other area, but at least here they were in a safe environment outside of your door, but it doesn't mean you can't use the same contractual law tactics that they're trying to use against you in a legal realm that has obviously no jurisdiction over you. Does that make sense, Jamie?
It sure does. It sure does.
Well, like I said, I'm here and we're going to put this together, and I can't wait to show everybody our communications. There's 2 sets of communications going out next week, and you're an incredible man, Jamie. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Chris.
Okay, we'll see you later, my friend.
Okay, take care.
Thanks. Well, that was wonderful, and I hope everybody learned a great deal from that. That's the beauty of this, is that we're doing this in real time right now. Okay, you're seeing people that are interacting with this tyranny that's going on, and again, these people truly believe that what they're doing is right. Right? They were obviously confused the first time they came out that one day for Jamie, because then they buggered off, and then they came back a few hours later once they got their wagons and everything circled. And I'm just saying to this, if Jamie, once he gets his game down, or anybody else, that time lapse for them to come back, it's not going to happen. They're not going to come back, because they're going to know that they are going to be liable as a man or a woman. Okay, not the service corporation, because when we go into this court, okay, under a special appearance capacity, because that's how he's appearing. He's not appearing in the capacity in which they're moving their court under, as if he was this legal person that was created, this persona that was created for his benefits and privileges, that this wonderful woman called the Queen has created with their massive tentacles of all these crown corporations. Okay? It's very simple. That's why the truth is deadly. We just have to let this simple truth free, and it's going to help protect the police officers. It's going to cause a hard reset within their organizations, and they're going to finally understand where the corruption is actually lying, and has always lied in this country and world. And that's with the bar. Okay, the bar has been the one that's been blocking all this truth for a very long time from we the people accessing our public courthouses. And that's why it's so paramount, not because it's the work that I've done. It's the truth that I bring out to everybody. The rules of civil procedure don't apply to us. That's what this court that they've summoned him with this invite to go to applies to. And we're going to destroy this in front of everybody. And they're going to see it. When I say destroy it, not in a physical capacity, I'm just saying very quickly and very powerfully with the correct words and communications that happen. Now, in their court, they're not going to want to listen to us, right? Just like they do with Tammy and them. They can't allow this to happen in their courts, because they're finished. And that's what we ultimately want. We want to see the bar liquidated into oblivion, so that only that the bar members are actually doing is what they were trained to do, is contract law. That's what they're there for very complicated contracts. All right, or if you don't know how to write a contract up, you can't figure it out for yourself, well, yeah, use a lawyer for that. He should be able to protect you, depending on whatever your business is, in a very simple capacity. But that man or woman acting as a lawyer, he does not represent you. You never allow that to happen. So this is going to be a very interesting, and I'm so glad that this is happening, because we're able to bring this out into the light. And I love we got these virtual hearings, because I don't have to go anywhere, and neither does Jamie. We can do it right from the comfort of our own home, while we can actually be having these direct communications with everybody to bring this truth before them and lay that out, that they cannot deny that this is actually occurring. So on that note, I would just like to say I think I've covered pretty much everything. I want you guys to definitely go and look up, if you haven't already, the Lee Merritt video. It is absolutely fantastic. Share this thing far and wide. I would put it up on my website, but I'll get it up on Brighteon, and also I'm going to re-upload it as well on BitChute as well, because that's a very hard-hitting, very powerful video of what is actually going on right now in our world. And as she tells you right off the opening line, they have never in the history of ever creating these vaccines succeeded when they have obviously, first and foremost, to create the correct